Good? Okay.
Testing. Hello, everyone.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, in Tibetan, we say Tashi Delek.
Testing.
Tashi Delek.
Tashi
In
Delek.
Cambodia,
Jumrip So.
Chumrip
So,
So.
yes.
Chumrip So.
Chumrip
Wow,
So.
that's
Chumrip
good. Chumrip So.
Jumrip So.
Tashi Delek.
Testing.
So, yeah, I have a very, very short questions here.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, how many population in your country?
Based on World Bank record now in Cambodia, there are 17 million people.
70.
17 million.
Wow,
17.
17
Yes,
million.
17
Okay.
million people in my countries.
So, okay, second is it increasing or decreasing?
It increasing.
Increasing.
Yes,
Perfect.
It's increasing.
How many of your population are Buddhist? Percentage?
Now, because Buddhist is the state of religion, yes, and it's a kind of religion that we write down in the constitution of the Cambodian laws. So mostly 95%.
95% is Buddhist.
95% is Buddhist.
Okay, very
So
good.
most of people believe in Buddhist.
Very good. Tashi Delek. What do you say? Namaste?
We say Namaste Tashi also.
Tashi Delek also. Tashi Delek. So it's a rapid fire question, okay? Okay, first one. Where are you from and what's your name?
I'm from Nepal and my name is Sanjeev Tuladhar. Tuladhar is the surname for Buddhist people.
Wow, that's so nice. So, since you are from Nepal, how many population in Nepal?
More than 30 million.
More than 30 million. Wow. So then how many percentage of the Nepalese population are Buddhist?
According to the government statistic, it is less than 10%. But in fact, by my experience, more than 50% people of the country are Buddhist.
50?
Yeah.
50.
50.
Wow, that's so nice.
But in government record, it's less than 10%.
Okay. So, do you think that the Buddhist in your country, the population of Buddhist is increasing or decreasing nowadays?
Nowadays,
Yeah.
it is increasing,
Increasing?
with our television also, because before Buddhist television existed, they didn't know about Buddhist teachings. So the non-Buddhists also are trying to know what Buddha taught us. So gradually it is very slow pace, the percentage is increasing.
Increasing, that's wonderful, that's wonderful. So, I'm with, your name?
Emi
Emi from?
Shirazi from Iran.
Oh, from Iran. So now, today, I'm gonna ask you a very, very quick question, okay?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Now, first question would be like, what word comes in your mind when you heard the word, the Buddhism? Buddhism is one word.
Beauty and peace.
Wonderful, beauty and peace. Oh, that's so good. The most beautiful thing about the Buddhism. What is the most beautiful thing about the Buddhism?
It is very difficult question,
Yeah,
but I can bring one most beautiful quote by Buddha. He
Yeah.
said that don't follow me.
wow, that's so nice. That's so nice. So now we're talking about the follow. So if Buddha is on social media, let's say Instagram,
Yes.
how many followers he may get?
I think all human beings must follow him
Really?
and his message. Yes, because he emphasizes on non-violence, compassion, and mindfulness. That is the most needed things, especially for the modern world.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do you think that many monks, nuns in a country help us to preserve Buddhism in a country?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they do. They try so hard to
teach.
preserve, to teach people to understand more about the Buddhism. Not only about the religion, but also the ways of Buddhists lead to be a good country system or democracy, so rights or free speech or something like that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Have you ever thought that you could become a monk, do you want to become a monk?
I used to become a monk.
Really?
Yes, I used to become a monk.
Wonderful.
I
That's
used to
wonderful.
become a monk.
That's wonderful. So nowadays, the most of the people using social medias and all. Do you think that Buddhist monks and nuns should use social media or not?
Obviously, yes.
Have to?
Yes, yes. Because because one of the most important duty for monks and nuns or anybody else is to spread the knowledge, and that is Buddha asked all his followers and students to spread knowledge. For that, social media is one of the platforms that they can spread Buddha Dhamma, Buddha's knowledge.
Yeah, now Instagram becomes like a notebook or textbook for many kids and new generations. Why Buddhism is important to you?
To live a good life. And to practice how to die peacefully, calmly.
Wow, that's so deep. So now, do you think that the Buddhists in all over the world, all the Buddhists are united, friendly or not? Any reason?
They are united, they are friendly, because everywhere you see, whenever we see a monk, we bow our head to the monk. This is the symbol of unity.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. We don't need to know who he is.
Yeah,
We just
and where he from, no problem.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Do you think that all the Buddhists in the world are united? Do you think all the Buddhists are united or not?
You could say it united.
It is united?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because who believe in Buddhas?
Buddhist in every country,
Yeah,
like any country,
yeah.
are they united? All the Buddhists are united?
Yeah, I think they're united, yeah.
Wonderful, that's good. Then, what is the best point, best lesson you find in Buddhism? Best.
Yeah. I should say key best point that you should learn from Buddha theory. The first, meditation. Yes. And the second, you should love yourself and concentrate yourself, teach yourself, train yourself
Wonderful.
to be reasonable. And the third should be balance, the middle.
Wow, that's so good. That's so good. Thank you. What is a thing that non-Buddhists don't like about Buddhist or Buddhism? Anything?
I think in my experience, the renunciation. The non-Buddhist people don't like about renunciation. They don't know that you can practice Buddhism having the mundane life. No problem. So you don't have to wear the robe like you, Narla, right? But I can practice Buddhism wherever I go and whenever I want.
Wonderful. Now it's a funny question, but if Buddha was on social media like Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, how many followers he may get?
I am sure that 100%, not less than 100% of the whole population will be following him. 100%, if he is alive.
Wow, that's so good. Now, again, if you see the Buddha, and if you get the opportunity to ask a question to the Buddha, what question do you ask?
You have to come again and again and again.
Wow, that's so nice.
This is not question, this is the request.
Request.
Yes.
Okay.
For this is Bhadrakalpa we say, right?
Oh yeah.
Every time he has to be here.
Yes, wonderful. Okay, final question. Which Buddhist country you would like to visit that you have never been so far?
Tibet.
Tibet? Really? Wow, thank you. So nice. Thank you so much. Last question.
Sure.
If which Buddhist country you want to visit if you get an opportunity?
In
You have
my
never-
side, I love to visit all. I really, That is
Yeah.
because I already visited all Buddhist sites of India,
Yeah.
around 17 places that I have visited, including Nepal. But besides India, Tibet
Tibet? And?
Actually, Vietnam I already visited.
Oh.
Vietnam I have
wow,
already
wonderful.
visited. And Bhutan.
Bhutan. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you.
Now, second last question. If you get enlightened, which place will you choose to get enlightened?
This place.
Which place you will choose to get enlightened yourself?
Where should I get?
Cambodia?
Absolutely, I think my country is the place
Yes.
which I born.
Perfect.
So I should have.
The last question. Which Buddhist country you have never been but you want to go?
Bhutan.
Bhutan.
Yes.
Yeah, I just went to Bhutan.
Yes,
I just
sir.
came back from Bhutan.
You ready?
Yeah,
I want
so
to visit
nice.
the Bhutan and Tibet.
Yeah, Bhutan and Tibet. Thank you.
Tibet is one guy who I read his book a lot
Oh.
and believe in his eye. Dalai Lama.
Oh wow, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, one day we will go there.
Yes, I hope one day I go to Bhutan
And
Tibet.
Tibet.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a good one. Thank you. Yes. And one for. Thank you so much.
Is transitioning from unipolarity to multipolarity. India is conscious of this. Going back to its civilizational character, India chose Vasudev Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future as the theme of the G20.
Forbes in 2016. Buddhist media, and this is my personal view, the Buddhist media can offer two kinds of services to the mankind. One, for the Buddhists, and the other for the secular world. The first purpose is
include winning the Nehru Cup, LG Cup, South Asian Football Federation Championship thrice, and the Asian Football Championship Challenge Cup. A Buddhist hailing from Sikkim, he is considered to be the torchbearer of Indian football in the international arena. He is also India's most capped player with 104 international caps to his name. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Baichung Bhutia. So may I please ask you to share a few words with the audience.
Because when you win matches, when you become successful in any individual or team sports, I think it's because of the opponents as well. So the respect for opponents and respect for the fans and the referees was very, very important. That came into Buddhist teaching. And I'm sure, I think with Buddhist media conclave today, we're trying to see that how media can be a bigger influence to teach Buddhism. And I'm not the expert in Buddhism, but I've lived outside, as I said, I've lived outside Sikkim for almost 20 years. I've come back to Sikkim now. And I've again started doing my dharma quite seriously. I've gone recently to Nepal for 10 days with a guru there, and I stayed there learning Buddhism again. Because once I started playing, it was all football had become my religion. So I'm getting back into it, into that. If you even look at the Buddhism and Buddhist history, even Lord Buddha as well, I think sacrificed everything is thrown to become just ordinary person. And if you look at our history again, Buddhists and Buddhism has suffered a lot. I'm not the expert again, as I said, if you look into the Mughals, when they came in, I think Nalanda was destroyed so much that a lot of priests were, murdered and killed, and a lot of script in Buddhism had to be taken to Tibet for a safeguard. Even in Tibet as well, I think when the Chinese came in, there were a lot of script and Buddhism that got destroyed. So I think if you look at the Buddhist history itself, I think there's been a lot of, which has been, unfortunately, for the Buddhists, it's been quite difficult in terms of history as well. And I think it's the only religion where every other religion might say ours is the best, but Buddhism is about way of life. And if you look at Buddha's teaching to his life, I think it's all about being peaceful and sacrifices. And today I'm a big follower of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I think he's one of the biggest examples in the world who is a true leader of peace and non-violence. And Buddhism and Lord Buddha also was that. And when today, I think Rinpoche was just saying about the greed which has come across the leaders, across the nations, and the wars are happening. It's all coming down to greed and being powerful and controlling everything from power to economics to everything. I think that's where Buddhism plays a big major role to bring peace, sacrifices, and brotherhood and non-violence. And I think that's where the media has a big role to play to spread Buddhism across, just not in the Himalayan region or Buddhist countries, but across the world. I think Buddhism is one religion that can bring peace, that can teach about giving sacrifices and bringing that brotherhood, bringing peace to an entire nation. Yes, every nation has to grow economically or anyway, but I think at the end, it's also to make sure that it has to be peacefully done, it has to be sustainable done. Today's, I think, also is about sustainable development. And I've been one of the biggest vocal in terms of sustainable development. I've seen my own state, Sikkim, how it has changed over the years, I think because of development. I think tourism has hit big time today. We are seeing across the world, a lot of cities are, I think, banning tourists to come into because it's become so commercial, the originality has been lost. And it's only getting concrete without really being sustainable. And today I feel sad that my state might get into that because Sikkim is again one of the big tourist destinations. But if you look at Sikkim, what it was 30 years ago, and now the culture is lost. We're losing out our culture, which was Buddhism, Hinduism there. Now it's only about development, about money, about tourism, and then you've got concretes coming all over. 30 years when I was a kid, Gangtok as a town was small town with gaps in between to let that gap small, there was no construction at all, there was gaps between so that if Sikkim a place where it's a seismic zone, earthquake prone area, when you have any major earthquake, those gaps in the shops or the buildings would allow it for the safeguard. But today if you look at it, it's because of the development, I think without any sustainable development, I think it's getting crazy. So I think the media has to play a big role in spreading Buddhism and also spreading sustainable development, which is the topic for today. And I'm sure everybody who's come here today will get to hear a lot of interesting insight from experts here, and I'm looking forward to it. But again, one more time, I would like to say thank you for having me here, and let's spread peace, let's spread brotherhood, and let's make sure that our country and our nation and the world is at peace. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. So I'll not waste my time. 7 minutes is too less for waiting for all days, and even with the flights, course and all, so I have to compliment everything within 7 days, 7 minutes. So that's right. So let's meditate. I'm just joking. I'm not a Buddhist spiritual leader. Neither I'm a middle person, right? And so establishing network of media house and the social media, this is not my cup of tea actually. But over the last so many years of being in the Senate Tibetan administration, I worked on many events, many conferences. Some of them are political, some of them are interfaith. So I worked with lots of media houses, right? Coordinating with them for many programs and activities. Right, on Tibet course, many of times we have to pay them to come at General Mandir, but they don't come because it's not sensationalization is not there. but we just have to sit down, protest, so they want to jump over the Chinese embassy building, then only they can come. So this is the typical media at this point of time. Whether you call it a mindful or mindless, this is a reality. So, but when we look at the overarching theme of this conclave, this is about mindful communication for conflict avoidance and sustainable development. So let me just briefly talk about it, because for the sake of the conclave, see, in this world, the reality is we are all in a polarized state. We all want to achieve our own interests at the best by neglecting the others' interests. We don't want others' interests to prevail. Whether we all, whether it's a government, corporate or individual, everybody wants to have their interest to be succeeded. Right? So therefore, in this, see, we are human beings actually. We are social animals. Throughout the civilizations, we have conflicts. Otherwise, we have attained nirvana. Right. So we have not attained nirvana. That means conflict is bound to happen. And now, when we talk about this, a conflict avoidance, right? Since the conflict is bound to happen, now how we are going to avoid it is a big problem. Is a big issue. When the conflict happens, then how can we resolve the conflict? That's another issue. So for the Tibetans, we had the conflict for the last so many years. We lost our country, but we came in exile. We are scattered all over the places. We have seen all the torturous things under Chinese regime. But we have a leader, we have a Saint Patron, His Holiness, who has taught us to be compassionate. The path of compassion, not to compete, not to seek revenge, but compassion, only compassion. Right. So, in this world, when we talk about compassion and the communication, mindfulness, whatever it might be, but all of the speakers, we talk about how we should be actually. We always talk about how we should be compassionate, how we should be mindful, but we never talk about the other. But the communication is about others. The two hands have to clap, right? One hand cannot clap. So at this moment, we always talk about oneself. We should be compassionate, we should be mindful, but we have never talked about others. So I will discuss on this now, right? So, reality speaking, right? Reality speaking, in Buddhism, I'm born Buddhist, but I don't practice Buddhism actually. I don't respect this. Only thing what His Holiness taught us is your work is your religion. So, whatever I do the best. That is my religion. And that too, not for yourself, but for others. So, as of now, when you look at Buddhism, you have three wills of Buddhism, right? We have lots in Buddhism. We have three many things. But His Holiness simplified the complexity of this Buddhism into three things. That is Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist science, and Buddhist rituals and traditions. So when we talk about establishing media houses or media net through social medias, all the time whenever I do my events, actually a few days back we had the Festival of Tibet, it was quite successful. But whenever we do the programs, we do it for the others, not for yourself. So many times we do programs for the sake of the programs, for the sake of ourselves, for our interest, not by looking into the other's interest. So what we do when we establish the media house or common house for us, we have to look into others. And this is the reality. So for that, who are the others? In this world, we have more than 520 million Buddhists. This is one other. But how can we reach to more than 500 million Buddhist communities in this world who have different backgrounds, diverse backgrounds, different countries. How can we reach them? This is one thing. Second thing is, as His Holiness emphasized, with these three Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist rituals, Buddhist science, in this world, His Holiness always emphasized about non-believers. One time when we had the interfaith dialogue in 2014, we were assigned to have 100 people in the room, and His Holiness told us to have, among others, we should have practitioners, we should have scholars, and we should have spiritual leaders. But the toughest job for us is to find the practitioners. We can find lots of spiritual masters from different faiths, but practitioners are hidden. Practitioners do not have the fan followers. So it was very hard for us to find. And more than that, it is really hard to find the non-believers. He's always emphasized on non-believers. Now when you look at the world population, more than 16% are non-believers, at least. So how can we reach to those people? Which composite of 16% of the world population. So therefore, we need to have a target where their interest should be fulfilled. So this, I think, is very important for us. Otherwise, like, see, we can talk big things over here, right? We are designated to speak over here. But at the end, implementation is the problem. Whether we want to be a structure or whether we don't want to be a structure, we want to make it a fluid. Who will take the initiative? Right? Whether social media and among the target groups, well, you have to also look into different young, they go with Instagram reels, old, they go with television. So how can we, because before that, I think Guru Modi has talked about this text in the context and then build up in the narrative, right? So with this text, all these thousands of sutras, this complex, how we are going to make it easily available, simplified manners, right? Inner will, and then build up the narrative. How is it? So they need a lot of efforts. I think simply by having 1 hour setting over here will not be able to work out that. But I would say that this is a very good initiative, right? Because we are not just working for us, we are working for the larger sentient being, and particularly for the human well-being. So this is what I would like to share. Thank you so much, and I will definitely answer to this question. Thank you.
Thank you so much.